Jim, that's another hugely painful result.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another sore one for us. It's 3 defeats now back to back. Really strange circumstances today in terms of how the game panned out. I thought we started the game really well. We knew that Imran would sit off us. We knew that that they would sit in a low block with their back five. I thought we got our wing backs on the ball really well, and deservedly went in front. And unfortunately, then we slowed the game down a little bit too much, and there's no getting away from the fact that we gifted St Mirren an equaliser. And apart from that moment up to that point in the game, Kel Roosters had very little to do, and it didn't look like they were going to get back into they were going to score. They had plenty of long throws, plenty of corners coming in the box, but no real clear-cut chances where they've carved us open. So, the bottom line is we've made a couple of really crucial mistakes in the game today that have cost us dearly.
I don't think there's any doubt about the red card, but I think there's a big doubt about whether the free kick should have been converted to a penalty kick.
I've only had one angle at looking at it, but from the angle that I had, it looked as if Anthony has pulled a younger back outside the box, and then a younger's managed to steal another kind of yard and fell over inside the box. So if the contact continues on into the box, which it didn't look like it had done, then it should have been a free kick, I think. But look, I don't want to talk too much about that specific point, because I haven't had the angle that the VAR guys have had to look at it, so I don't want to be pointing the fingers at anybody wrongly at the moment. The bottom line is we shouldn't have been in that situation, and Anthony knows. He's apologised to the group in there. It was a big mistake. It was a big mistake. I think Ross could potentially have played the ball forward as opposed to coming back to Anthony initially, but there's no getting away from the poor touch and the poor decision, and we got punished.
You won't want to dwell on bad luck either, but the penalty goes in off Kella's heel, I think, from Mark O'Hara. And then later in the game, of course, when you're down to 10 men, Ramadani hits the underside of the crossbar. On a good day, those go in. On an unlucky day, they stay out.
Yeah, look, I think how we've only managed to score one goal in the game, I think is hard to understand, because I thought, obviously Matty Kennedy's hit the post before he's managed to score that wonder goal. In the second half, we've had 2 or 3 really good opportunities, and I have to credit the players. I understand the fans' frustration again. Another defeat. It's not what we want. I thought we came into the game believing we could win it, and I thought we played relatively well in the majority of the game. The last half an hour at 2-1, it looked as if there was only going to be one team that was going to score next, and that looked as if it was going to be us. Ramadani's hit the crossbar. We've had another couple of balls drop nicely to us on the edge of the box, and we've not been able to hit the target. On another day, I think we would like to do better. Matty put in a great corner to the back post, and I think Ryan Duncan and Christian ended up getting in each other's way, unfortunately. But if there had been only one of them there at that particular moment in time, I think we'd have equalised. So it's extremely disappointing again, and we just have to pick ourselves up. It's as simple as that. We have to not feel sorry for ourselves. The boys are extremely disappointed, as you can imagine, but it's my job to get them going again on the 28th for the game against Kilmarnock. But I think the fans that were here, and I think people who have watched the game on RedTV could see, it wasn't a case in the second half where the guys threw the towel in and didn't believe and didn't keep going. They fought tooth and nail with a very strong physical team, and passed them off the park at times when we had the man less. So there was 1 or 2 good individual performances. I thought Kennedy was excellent. I thought Ramadani in the middle again was brilliant. But we can't rely on individuals. We need that whole team to be consistent, and we're shooting ourselves in the foot at the moment with the mistakes that we've made, and particularly in the last 2 games. The last 2 goals against Rangers are avoidable, and to give 3 penalties away in one game is criminal. And obviously the third goal, we're having a go at that particular moment in time. Where, Kel is actually very unlucky not to get on the end of the cross. He's nearly scored an equaliser, and then we've been punished because we've left Kilty with an open goal to wrap the game up.
Just one more from me, Jim. Kilmarnock, a massive match, and you've got suspension obviously for Anthony Stewart. You've got injuries potentially. I don't know how they are with Hayden Coulson and Duke. and it is a big match now, isn't it? It becomes an even bigger match than it was already, I suppose.
Yeah, look, they're all big games, you know what I mean, and obviously the run that we're on at the moment, losing 3 games back to back, is not good enough for this club, and I'm well aware of that. It's not acceptable, and we do have 1 or 2 injury concerns now to add to the mix. So we're certainly not carrying a great deal of luck at the moment. I know people don't like talking about luck, but I think there is a level of involvement at times, and Duke has went off. He took a really bad knock on his ankle. He's opened up his ligaments, but hopefully that will settle down over the next couple of days and he might just make it. It didn't look too bad, but we had to take him off at half time. Leighton Clarkson was feeling his thigh. Again, these boys have played a lot of football in the last 3 games, and there's a bit of fatigue setting in. So well, hopefully those injuries that we've picked up, Coulson took a knock on the ribs, hopefully they won't be too bad, and then hopefully we'll get a couple more back into the squad as well to try and freshen things up.
Good man. See you at Rugby Park.
All right, thanks Rob.